We have some amazing woodworkers in our area. The Regrainery does not disappoint. We got a chance to check out a beautiful black walnut project as it was crafted. Now, let's go make some sawdust.
Now, it's time for Made in the Northwest.
Hey guys, we're down at the Regrainery today. We're doing some woodworking. Aaron, thanks for having us down.
Yeah, good to be here.
This is going to be a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
I love this. What are we building?
So we're talking about how we go through the process of building a wardrobe.
Nice. We have some beautiful black walnut, it looks like.
Yeah. So we sourced this from a supplier who's up in Washington, not too far, just across the river from us. And as you can see, there is plenty of interesting character going on here, both with the wood itself, but also with a lot of the rough spots too. So part of our process when we first get a big bundle of lumber is to go through and identify what all we need to do to this material before we're actually ready to work on it and glue it together. Yeah, so the first thing that we're gonna do, so these boards in particular, along with this stack, are gonna end up becoming a shelf on the inside of the wardrobes themselves. So we first need to identify just how straight our material is. So as I turn it, the first thing I do is I'm kind of sighting the wood. And I'm just seeing, is it kind of bowing, or is it cupping, or what's it doing? You know, and oftentimes for what we're doing right here, oftentimes what you can do is if you're gluing together a half sheet or something like that, you can cut away a section of it that might be extra problematic. So what we're gonna do is we actually need, finished, we need about 3 feet. So we're gonna cut about 40-inch sections, and we'll try to cut away the most problematic areas first.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's the miter saw.
All right, joiner time, huh?
Jointer time.
Let's go make some sawdust with that.
Let's do it.
All right, for that beginner woodworker, what's a joiner do for us?
A jointer is a really powerful and helpful tool in any woodworking shop. So basically, what it's going to do is it's going to take rough stock or rough material, and it's going to give us a nice clean edge or face to reference when we do our other cuts, like on a table saw. So it's really, after kind of rough cutting your material down to size, it's really the next step in the process.
Well, that way when you make that 90-degree corner, you've got a 90-degree you're working with as well.
Exactly, you can always rely upon that.
Cool. All right, I guess we need to glue some wood.
Let's do a glue up.
Cool.
And this is just a general glue up principle that I like to follow, is making sure that these heights, these elevations are roughly the same. And one of the best ways to do that is to use a caul. And that's what these blocks right here are for.
Okay.
So this is sort of like woodworking 101. This is just one of those things that they used to do way back in the day. It's pretty primitive. This is white oak, just a nice hard piece of material. And basically I'm going to clamp on either side so that the caul actually kind of forces this to stay nice and level. This is especially helpful when you've got a really deep shelf or large panel that you're doing. Especially if it's multiple boards, you want to have a nice caul with a clamp on basically on every board. First step here is we're actually going to cut a straight edge along one of the sides. I've chosen this side. It doesn't actually have to be even a finished depth or anything like that. All I'm doing is putting a nice straight reference line so that when we cut a perpendicular line, we've got just something to square up to.
Gotcha. All right, track saw set.
Track saw time. Yeah, so basically we're getting ready to make our cut here. So making sure that my saw is riding in that track. There's not a lot of play this way, not a lot of friction. And I've set my depth to the appropriate depth of cut, and we're ready to rip.
All right.
Cool, so we're ready to cross cut our bevel. So a bevel is basically just a 45 in this case. It's sort of a catch-all term for some kind of, a lot of times you'll hear this called a mitered corner. In this case, we're basically just gonna run a 45-degree angle cut right across. I like to undercut as a general rule because you can always cut again.
Absolutely. All right, our next step.
We're gonna cut dominoes next.
Nice.
So domino is basically a proprietary phrase for basically doweling. If you've ever doweled before, it's basically just bringing two pieces of material together with some kind of peg or
spline,
wood,
yeah,
spline, something like that. So the way that I like to go about this is to try and match up. So basically, this is going to wind up like that, right? But what we need to do is make our cuts. You know, we'll probably do 4 of these. They're called mortises. A mortise is basically just a hole that you cut into a piece of material so that you can feed the dowel inside.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind,
let's do it. Yeah, this is definitely a 2-person job.
Yeah. So basically line those up.
That slid in. Parked it there.
We might need to grab our. There we go. Look at that.
Beauty. Now you can slide that
So
over
that
like
is-
you talked about. There's that brilliance right there of the
Got
loose.
that nice kind of edge there.
You made some progress, brother.
Yeah, so
good.
we've got the walnut cabinet carcass roughly assembled.
Yeah.
So you can see those miter joints together here, still rough. We're gonna hand plane them out and sand them to their finished detail. But right on that edge there, you'll see this corner inlay that we did. This has a couple of potential purposes, one of which is to help make this look like a nice, seamless, straight line, but it also adds a little bit of structure to it as well.
Drawer boxes, how hard can we make them, right? I mean, half the time it's just about the hardware that you're going to use and building it around that, but this is beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, what we find is it's all based on what this drawer is going to be doing, how you're putting it together, what kind of slides you're using, and what kind of joinery you're going to use is often dictated by the material and the application.
No question. So what kind of glide are you going to do on this?
So we're doing side-mounted soft close drawer slides.
Yeah, that soft close makes a difference too, because you don't have that shock on a drawer of somebody doing this.
Honestly, just thinking about it. So these folks have kids.
Yep.
So just thinking about how maybe their kids are going to use these at one point, or maybe their kids will inherit and have their kids use them. Point is, you definitely want that soft close. And I've actually never had a client not want soft close hardware.
Right.
It's just so convenient and makes that slamming sound obsolete.
Yeah, it's smart. Okay, this is a pretty cool handle setup right here.
Yeah, we've got a couple different pieces here. So this is a drawer handle before cut in half. Now, we'll have to use our imagination a little bit, but this is how it's going to get assembled to the doors. So
cool.
each piece will go with its accompanying door. And then when it's brought back together, it'll look, you know, with a slight reveal, it'll look like one piece again. So we're going with the pill shape style. A lot of things just to point out with this. This is before this was cut in half. We've got a cove bit on the router table that we used to make this. We used a roundover bit on the top side here. We used the belt sander to achieve our rounded radius there.
Nice. Aaron, thanks for having us out, man. This has been a ton of fun out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for making the time. Really enjoyed having you guys out here.
Have learned a lot. How do people track you down? Because I'm sure people want to have you build something for them.
Yeah, the internet. Regrainery.com is the best way to find us. We're also on Instagram, just at Regrainery. It's a word I made up, so if you need to know how to spell it, I'm sure it'll be somewhere in the broadcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is something that's made right here in the Northwest, and you know something, guys? This is something you might need in your home.